In the early 1990s, I was still feeling very sad for not having found the great Fa. One day, while kneeling in front of a Buddha's picture, I vowed to find a cultivation way that cultivates both the mind and the body. I vowed to attain Buddhahood and save sentient beings. That night, when I was meditating, my main spirit flew out and was searching and asking in every dimension, one by one, is there a righteous Fa that cultivates the mind and the body and enables one to attain Buddhahood and save sentient beings? That night, when I was meditating, my main spirit flew out and was searching and asking in every dimension, one by one, is there a righteous Fa that cultivates the mind and the body and enables one to attain Buddhahood in one lifetime? In each dimension there were many cultivators, but none of them had heard of such a wonderful righteous Fa. They all said to me, if you find this wonderful righteous Fa, please make sure to let us know and come save us. Later, my cultivation energy wasn't enough to let me go any higher, so one of my old masters gave me a divine crane. It took me to continue my search upward, asking about the righteous Fa, dimension by dimension, until we couldn't go any higher. The cultivators in each dimension all sincerely hoped that I could find such a wonderful and righteous Fa and return to save them. Just as I was feeling upset and desperate, suddenly a lotus flower flew down toward me from the heavens and picked me up. It took me to a splendid and magnificent palace where a great Buddha was lecturing on the Buddha Fa. Row after row of Buddhas around him were listening to his lecture. The closer the Buddhas sat to the great Buddha, the bigger their bodies were. Tathagatas were at the outermost row, and their bodies were the smallest. I saw many Tathagatas, including Lao Tzu and Confucius, and I was most surprised to see Jesus there too. As I walked into the Buddha's palace, the gathering ended. I felt very upset, thinking that my predestined luck with the Buddha Fa was very poor. The lotus flower then brought me to the great Buddha, and my body grew to be very large by the power from the great Buddha. The great Buddha made hand gestures toward me, and immediately rays of golden light came forth. From the golden light flew copies of shining scriptures. I was so happy, I tried my best to catch the scriptures with my hands. The first two scriptures I caught were China Falun Gong and Zhuan Falun. I was thinking, where can I find you down on earth? The great Buddha immediately changed into the image of Teacher Li in a suit. He looked just like he does in the picture in Zhuan Falun. In an instant, I came back to my flesh body in the human world. Waiting in the human world was totally unbearable. In 1995, I ran into my friend who went with me to Kangzang. Her face was radiating a rosy glow. I said, "Ah, you must have attained the Fa. Show it to me now." I urged her to take me to her home, and words cannot describe how anxious I was. Once we arrived at her house, I saw a copy of China Falun Gong on the table. I grabbed it and held it tightly to my chest, but my friend said it was her only copy and wouldn't let me take the book. So I said, "Then tell me where you got the book and I'll find it." She gave me the address of a bookstore. It was almost closing time. I rushed there and found the store was closing. I asked the owner if he still had China Falun Gong. He said it was sold out. I didn't believe it, so I looked for the book on the shelves myself. Finally, when I opened the door of a bookcase, I found 2 copies of the golden and shiny China Falun Gong. I bought them immediately. I began to read the book as soon as I got home. All of a sudden, I understood everything. The things that my old masters had taught me, such as the heavenly circulation, the placement of the mysterious paths, celestial eye, precognition and retrocognition, each of which took them a year to explain, yet still remained unclear, were clearly explained in China Falun Gong in only a few sentences. Why do people think that Dafa books are too high to understand? Why do people feel that our teacher is very high-sounding in his lectures? The reason is that these are the secrets of secrets that nobody has ever discussed in the circle of cultivators and were hidden away like treasures. Yet our teacher has unveiled them to us in a few plain words. Not only can the human mind not comprehend them, but also some gods' minds cannot comprehend them either. So of course he appears to be very high-sounding. Later, I spread Dafa to the Kangzang region, and to the children whom I had protected, and to many cultivators in the mountains. The mountain cultivators all returned to the ordinary people's world and are cultivating in Dafa. Some of them were younger disciples who obtained the Fa through older disciples. Some were masters who obtained the Fa from their disciples. When Dafa practitioners went to Ermei mountain to spread the Fa, many of the monks in the mountains got signs from the Bodhisattva the night before. They came down the mountain very early in the morning and were kneeling along the sidewalk to receive Zhuanfalun. Teacher once said, "All gods know that I'm spreading Dafa, only humans do not know." I made a catalogue of all of Sakyamuni's disciples and where they had come back to the human world after reincarnation. I found them and spread Dafa to them. However, some of them are too lost among ordinary people and are not able to learn the Fa anymore. One of them is the Anan, whom we often read about in Buddhist scriptures. It is indeed true that not everyone qualifies to obtain the Fa. Those who have cultivated for thousands of years and haven't reached completion want to obtain it but cannot. Those who obtain the Fa have encountered the most precious treasure that doesn't come along in ages upon ages. Yet people still do not know to cherish the great Fa of the universe. All gods know that persecuting Dafa is an unpardonable sin. The story that I just told is not even 1/10 of what I have experienced, yet I am just an ordinary member among the many Falun Dafa cultivators.